Thanks to Sequire for inviting me to this conference. My name is Bruce Smith. I'm an exploration geologist and I'm the CEO and president of Radius Gold. And I'm just going to run through a few slides to explain a bit about the company for those that don't know us. So Radius Gold is a part of Gold Group Management. Gold Group Management is formed by Simon Ridgway. He's formed a lot of companies, the most successful being Fortuna Silver Mines. So our Radius team, we've got a great team in the company. Simon, he's founded a dozen companies or more, mining companies, exploration companies. Then there's Bradford, one of our directors. He's the founder of Endeavour Silver. So we've got a couple of mining guys on the board, and then there's myself. I've been an exploration geologist for 28 years. I've worked globally, but in the last 20, mostly in Latin America and Mexico. And Javier, our chief geologist, he's been in Mexico for 40 years, working with all the big companies, and now working with us for the last 5. So Radius Gold is a different kind of company. We have a lot of interesting projects and joint ventures. So I'm just going to run through them briefly. We have the Almalia joint venture in Mexico with Pan American Silver. We've got drilling in progress right now, and we've had some spectacular high grades on that over the past few years. We've got Guatemala joint venture with Volcanic. It's fully funded. Volcanic has been drilling all through last year and some spectacular results, and they're about to start drilling again. Then we have Plato Verde. It's 100% ours, and we're working on a joint venture there right now. And then we have Maricela, also in Mexico. That is, we're getting ready for drill permitting. Radius is self-funding. We haven't really had a private placement or a capital raise for 10 years. We've managed to get by on making deals and acquisitions and sales. And the biggest one we have going on at the moment is with Golden Hawk. It's a new company, and we're raising money to acquire a 3 million ounce deposit in the DRC, which we believe has potential to be 5. And so if anybody's interested in that private placement, you can contact me later. Okay, and we're also always generating new projects, so we're bound to get a new one out this year. So starting off with Almalia, that's in the Sierra Madre of Mexico. It's a classic Sierra Madre epithermal system. Very high-grade drill results, thick. We've got a very large land position. We drilled 45 holes to date with Pan American funding it all. We're drilling 3 major structures, and currently we're drilling right now. So there'll be results out again soon. So at Almalia, what we have is 3 main big brecciated structures, and they're big, like 6 kilometers long in total, and probably extend for further than that. There's the Almalia Structure. We've drilled at San Pedro. There's the California Structure that we drilled recently and announced results November, December last year. And the El Cuervo Structure is a new one, which we're drilling right now. So we've hit some fantastic grades at Almalia. We operated ourselves for the first couple of years. And in hole number 14, we hit 44 meters at 12 grams gold and 309 silver, and true thickness of about 35. That's a phenomenal good drill hole. And at that stage, it was one of the best drill holes in mining or exploration for gold that year. In the Californian Structure, which we have been drilling last year, we also have hit some great thick, wide gold silver intercepts with 26 meters at 2.59 gold and 353 silver. So we're hoping to get similar results at El Cuervo, and if we do, it's going to be great, and the news will be coming out soon. So the Almalia structure is a chute called the San Pedro chute, where we've concentrated most of the drilling to date. This is a long section of the San Pedro chute showing where the high grade is, and it's converted to silver equivalent, so gold plus silver. And if you have a look at the core of that purple zone, there's some pretty staggering results. 34 meters at 1,362 grams equivalent is the core of it. That's true thickness, 34 meters. Now, it's not a very long chute strike length-wise, but it does go deep. It goes from surface to 450 meters deep. We've kind of closed that off. We know that there's a small resource there right now. It's not big enough for, Pan American scale company, the world's biggest silver miner, So, they decided we'll go off to the next target, and there's multiple targets, and start drilling on adjacent targets. And they did last year, and we drilled California, and we hit on California as well. So in the case of California, we drilled a 1 kilometer section of a 2.8 kilometer long vein and brecciated system. We drilled that 1 kilometer because it had road access. The rest doesn't. We'll put road access in, but, there's obviously room to expand. So right across the 1 kilometer, we got anomalous or, high-grade mineralization in every drill hole, anomalous or high-grade. So 14 drill holes to date. The centers were at 200 meters, so widely spaced. And I'm just going to bring on, so you can look here, this is one of the key holes. Drill hole number 39 hit 26 meters at 350 silver and 2.59 gold. And you'll see that's at the end of the section to the north. So it's wide open to the north, it's open down dip, and we've still got a 1.5 kilometers of strike to drill. So we have moved the rig from here to the next vein, which is the El Cuervo vein. And we're drilling there right now, and we expect to have drill results coming up constantly in the next 2 or 3 months from that system at El Cuervo. So Almalia is a very exciting project. We think that we've got a mineable, we think we're heading towards a big resource. And we haven't announced one yet because our partners, Pan American, are funding. And of course, they're not going to announce anything small. They're waiting for, a big discovery. And we're well on the way to getting that. So Radius also has a project in Guatemala in joint venture with Volcanic Gold Mines. Volcanic's a junior company. It's got $8 million cash in the bank. This is their only project. They've been drilling all through last year. They've had some spectacular results again, and they're fully funding. We also have drill targets on specific properties, but we have a 350,000 hectare regional group of applications, and we're exploring all over that as well. So we are the largest landholder in Guatemala. And why are we there in Guatemala? We've been there because of history. We found gold group companies found a sizable deposit there about 20 years ago called Cerro Blanco. Cerro Blanco has currently been funded by the Lundin family and Bluestone Resources, and Pan American also went in and bought a world-class deposit called Escobal. And we control all the ground between the Bluestone and Escobal. And so we've been busy drilling, and I'll show you some of that drilling now. This is a system called the Holly property, and we're drilling on the La Peña vein, and we've drilled 17 holes into the La Peña structure. And we're getting sort of average widths of about 10 meters at average grades, 10 meters equivalent. So again, very high grade. And we're working on resource definition now. We've got a small area of about 300 meters by 300 meters that it's defined at the moment, but we'll be expanding that with the coming drill program starting soon. And you can see one of the last drill holes there, drill hole number 23, hit 4.58 meters at 79 grams gold and 5 kilos silver. So that gives you an indication of the sort of grades we're hitting in that system. Spectacular. So regionally in Guatemala, we're working on a huge land package of 350,000 hectares of applications. We won't get all that granted. We're just trying to work through it as quick as we can, identify what's good and get that granted. And the first discovery we've made in last year is a project called Mutowa Norte. Mutowa Norte is an orogenic system, so very different from what we've typically been seeing in Guatemala to date. Extremely high grades again. We like high grades, as you can tell, but that's what we chase all the time. So this is a float field, basically. Not a lot of outcrop. The photo in the middle is the small amount of outcrop we have, but the float fields, there's 2 or 3 of them that are 300-400 meters wide by 300-400 meters long. And they're just covered in these boulders of quartz. And the boulders are running, 100 grams, typically, commonly above 50, getting grades to 320 grams in the quartz float. But what I really like about it as a geologist is you can see this one here, the 94 grams of gold. That is a sericite altered schist with stockwork veining. So I don't think we're just talking about quartz veins. We're talking about stockworks within the schist at high grade, orogenic gold system. We've just discovered this, and Simon is actually the CEO, is down there in Guatemala now, talking to the government to get this permitted, and I took yesterday's estimates, 2-3 months, we'll have it permitted, and then we can start getting a rig in there, start exploring this thing. So that's a pretty exciting new property. Then we go to Plato Verde in Mexico. This is one discovery we made a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And this is a whole set of silver mines, a big silver mining camp that was lost for a whole lot of unusual reasons. We don't think there's anybody been in here since the late 1800s, early 1900s, since the Mexican Revolution. It's hosted in basalts, and it's silver chloride, which is unusual. It doesn't produce red oxides or anything like that. It's underground, and that's why we think nobody had seen it or found it before. It's in the Sierra Madre. And you can see by the side of these photos, when I got there at first, I was just shocked at the scale of the underground mining. That photo there, the roof cavity is 30 meters high, and the cavity that was mined out is probably 50 by 70 meters with a 30-meter roof height. And this was mined by pick and shovel and hammer and chisel and black powder in the 1800s. All for silver, and hasn't been touched since. Has never been drilled. So it's bulk mineable underground. We're seeing breccia-style mineralization. We sampled the underground. Average grades of the breccias are about 250 grams silver. Stockwork style mineralization, again, we've taken 255 samples, average grade about 160 silver, and then we've got disseminated mineralization as well. So we've got this now drill permitted. We've completed the geophysics, which shows the flat-lying manto-style silver being capped. You can see here that there's a cap on top. And then there's the feeder systems that we'd like to drill that we haven't seen yet. So we're working on getting the funding in place through a joint venture to have this drilled this year. The next property is a new discovery. I made this during COVID times when I was looking at a district called the Cananea district. It's just outside of Arizona, just across the border in Mexico. This is a world-class porphyry district. The Cananea porphyry is the third largest copper mine in the world. And there's some phenomenal gold deposits and silver deposits around there. The best one, most well-known, 50 kilometers to the south, is Silvercrest Metals. And we found these, old mined out stopes and cavities across several kilometers and that have been undrilled. These have got decent grades of gold and silver. And why were they not drilled is because this was being held for years by a great big Mexican copper mining company that wasn't interested in gold and silver. So we've got combined 2.5 kilometers of veins, 6 major structures, average width about 10 meters, not too high grade overall. But certainly would be interesting as an open pit. And in locations, we've got some very high grades of 3 meters at 4.6 gold and 1.3 kilos. So there's potential for both underground and open pit. We are currently permitting this to be drilled. And as soon as we have it drill ready, we'll find a partner or we'll fund it ourselves. We have equities in cash holdings of $3.6 million. So we're not rushing out to dilute our shareholders. We haven't raised money for a long time. We can either choose to dilute through a specific project, or occasionally, if the market's right, we might raise funds. 87 million shares out, currently trading at 36 cents. With those 4 properties, our market cap 31, so we think there's a lot of room to move, especially this year with drilling coming out again on Almalia, drilling coming out again from Guatemala, and a new project probably to be drilled, either Plato, Verde or Maricela. We're in a good position for this year, and we'll have a lot of news flow. So what are we going to see? We're going to see news all the time through drilling on those 2-3 projects. And our team is always out there exploring for new ones. I've got 2 and 3 of mine right now that I'm trying to buy. The owners are being a bit difficult, but I'll get there in the end. So you can expect to see new acquisitions coming as well. So that's a brief story about Radius Gold. We've got a lot of experience in Mexico, and we look forward to keep exploring and discovering new projects. And thank you very much for your time. Thanks for listening. And if anybody wants to contact me, my numbers are there. You can call me anytime. I'm always happy to talk about our company. Thanks a lot.
Fraser Atkinson looks like a more white Paul Rudd, if that's even possible.
Heritage Global is a NASDAQ HGBL, is an asset services company specializing in assets. What? I didn't write that one, so I'll give that to our IR firm.
At Chris Maglino looks like the uncle you always forget to invite to Thanksgiving. Oh, uninvite from Thanksgiving. That's brutal.
Sequire's Surveys feature enables you to create and send surveys to your shareholders. Need help making a decision in your company, or just want general feedback about your company, products, or management? No matter how big or small, you can get your shareholders' opinions by sending them a quick survey, either to all of your shareholders, your top shareholders, shareholders within a specified range of share ownership, or to a custom group created by you. You can ask general questions like, how did you hear about our company? Do you use our products? What do you think of our management? Or more specific questions about a big decision like, should we enter a merger with this company? What are your opinions about changing the compensation and benefits of our executives? There are endless possibilities with Sequire's surveys. Get connected with your shareholders and explore all the benefits of the surveys feature today. With Sequire campaigns, you can engage current and potential stock buyers at their trading desks, investor events, or at home on both desktop and mobile. Our dedicated team of campaign specialists will combine verified and historical stock buyer data to target relevant investors across programmatic and social channels. We can also track and target visitors at small, mid, and large cap investment conferences across all industries. Here's how it works. First, Sequire identifies and targets each individual shareholder based on their IP addresses and device IDs. Next, we pull contact information for each shareholder, including their email address, phone number, and social media accounts. Our team will then layer this data to execute ads that keep your company top of mind wherever your shareholders go online. We can also entice new shareholders. Is there a conference full of ideal investors that you can't attend? We'll run a geo-targeted campaign to ensure that everyone at that conference knows your name. Plus, we can create targetable lookalike audiences for future campaigns. And if there's a specific brokerage or capital firm you'd like to target, we can reach them across their various devices. With Sequire campaigns, your company will always stay top of mind for your investors. Schedule your demo today. Keeping an eye on your investors' contributions to your company is key. That's why we've simplified the process of tracking the buying and selling movements of your shareholders. With our detailed reports and helpful graphs, you can analyze your gains and drops in seconds. Watch the behavior of an individual shareholder or institutional investor and use these insights to fuel your strategy at every turn. If a veteran shareholder starts to sell off shares, send a catch-up email in the platform to keep them on board. If a new shareholder takes a big position, send them a thank you note in the platform and entice them with exciting new company updates. We don't just show you what's going on, we empower you to react by engaging directly with shareholders.